Okay, I'm just going to give you a little review on my school and where I teach. So, at my school, we have an English part and an immersion part of the school. English classes are for JK to grade 7. Next year, we'll have our first English grade 8 class, and immersion classes are for JK to grade 8. The English part of the school is required to follow the Ontario curriculum. Our principal encourages us to incorporate our culture in our lessons as much as we can. Primary students receive Gayokono, Cayuga language, and culture classes every day for 30 minutes, while the junior and intermediate students receive language and culture instruction every day for 50 minutes. The immersion teachers have been permitted to use their own culture-based curriculum based around ceremonies in the Longhouse. So for example, at this time of the year, maple syrup is running right now. So my co-worker who teaches SK in grade 1, on the immersion side, said she would be doing a speech today around the teachings about maple syrup. So she'd give the speech to her kids, and then she'd incorporate these teachings into her other lessons throughout the week as well. I'm not sure what the reason is, but the English part of the school is not allowed to use the same culture-based curriculum that the immersion side uses. I've asked several times why, but my principal doesn't even know the answer. She's never been really given a straight answer. We just know that on the English side, we have to follow Ontario curriculum. So if I flip back over to speaking about the culture-based curriculum on the immersion side, as you can imagine, it takes a lot of time to create all the resources that my friend needs. So talking about the maple syrup speech, we have had discussions, her and I have had discussions about this and have come to the conclusion that even though immersion teachers are allowed and encouraged to use our own curriculum, which is based on our teachings, a lot of them just do not, because there's no teacher's manual. Literally. It's not as simple as picking up a book and photocopying the pages to be handed out to a class. So I think the entire idea of school needs to be drastically changed for Indigenous people. My idea of what a culturally based school would look like is like the Akwesasne Freedom School or Galiwanolo, what that looks like from Reading Response 3. So what are some of the challenges from integrating culturally based education? I think the two biggest challenges would be funding and parents. So funding would be an issue because there's never enough money, ever. Schools would have to do a lot of fundraising in order to operate. Teachers would have to pitch in to do their share, just like parents would. This leads to the second biggest challenge, which are the parents. A culturally based school would look very different than the types of schools they attended. I think probably even the teachers would oppose because it would not be run like something they were used to or something how they were trained in. I think to convince parents it would work is they would have to see success stories of students in the community. There would have to be students who have gone through the program who have been successful at walking in two worlds. That's knowing their language and culture, but also working and making a living in the dominant culture. I really like the idea of using the medicine wheel as a framework for the curriculum, like Belle did in her Just Do It, the article we read. The medicine wheel has significance for the Anishinaabe people, so they can take pride in what is being taught to their children. So we would have to adopt something like that in Haudenosaunee culture as well, which would probably be a framework based around ceremonies in the Longhouse. I also really like the idea of attending school year-round. When I envision a school, I picture it to be a year-round school based around the seasons and ceremonies that take place at that time of year. In my head, I picture a school where teachers take their students out to the bush to tap trees together, so the students and the teacher, so the entire class would harvest the sap, boil it down, and make syrup. Once the syrup's made, students and teachers would come back to the school and prepare a pancake breakfast for the entire school, using the syrup they just made for the pancakes. Once it's all finished, the students would be required to teach their classmates what they learned about for the past couple of weeks. Students could decide how they would present the information to their classmates. It could be in the form of an oral presentation, PowerPoint, movie, poster, whatever they want it to do. It would all be student-centered. There was a common denominator in all of the articles that we read this week. The success of the schools lies with the parents and their willingness to engage in the school happenings. In order for parents to want to engage and actively participate, they need to feel welcomed and believe in what the teachers are doing at the school. Open communication is key. I think it would be really difficult to successfully open and continue to operate a culturally based school. However, we need more people like Nicole Bell to just do it.